Jai, Jai Ma, Jai Jagannath, thank you
Jai.
for participating to this. I'm trying to make more videos in English language
No
to
problem.
give some some benefit to the English speaking people.
Yeah,
Make the channel a little more lively. So,
Anji.
yeah, we were mentioning before we started the meeting about, maybe we can talk a bit about what is the meaning of meditation.
Yeah,
Um, because, people might be a bit confused
Anji.
about, about the subject, because there is a lot of strange information and
Mm.
fantasy information going around, but
Yeah.
mostly it's a kind, the perceptions, the popular ideas are mostly based on a quite limited vision, perception of reality.
Mm.
Because people usually believe, I have been led to believe, that we are the physical body,
Yeah,
or at best, we are the mind.
Anji.
And the concept of soul is very vague and confused. People
Mm.
think they are a body and they have a soul, but because they don't know where the soul is, what it is, so they might just as well not have a soul. So some
Mm.
people have come up with the idea that there are some people who don't have a soul, which is, it's not exactly, it doesn't make sense.
Everybody has a soul. Yeah.
Everybody is a soul.
Anji.
If you understand that we are the soul,
Yeah.
we cannot say that there are people who are not.
Mm. Mm.
Like,
Anji.
it's a contradiction in terms.
Yeah.
So there are people who are not. No, it's not standing. Now,
An-
the whole point of the Vedic knowledge, the first step is Atma Vidya, the realization, the knowledge of the self.
Yeah.
Self means identity.
Anji.
Myself, me. So when we talk about the Atma, means the self, we are not talking about something we have. We are talking about something we are.
Mm.
Okay. Now, we have a mind and a body. We have a body, physical body, and we have a mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, Both of these are material. The
Mm.
physical body is made of gross elements,
Yeah.
like, stuff you can touch. And
Anji.
the subtle body the mind is made of subtle elements
Anji.
that you cannot really touch, but they exist on the material level.
Mm.
So, the general meaning of meditation, general, that
Yeah.
applies to all sorts of meditation, is about focusing one's mind.
Anji. Yeah.
So we can meditate on our problems, we can meditate on revenge, we can
Yeah.
meditate on God, we can meditate on anything. That just means focusing one's mind.
Mm.
Now, there are different types of meditation because there are so many things on which we can focus our mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what most people believe meditation is just a relaxation of the mind, especially of the conscious level of the mind. So the
So it's not
mind,
like
tell.
so it's not like where I suppose if you switch off your thoughts, try to clear your thoughts, and think of, I suppose, nothing. So that may does that allow like maybe the higher kind of conscious
No,
thoughts to come?
the first thing that will be allowed in is your subconscious,
Oh, I see. If you switch off your
conscious
uh,
mind.
okay. Oh, then it'll be your subconscious. Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
so that's what happens when people who do not have proper knowledge, proper understanding of the self,
Yeah.
try to meditate. They're actually relaxing the conscious mind.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So they're switching off the thoughts, but it doesn't mean that the thoughts stop existing. If you stop the thoughts go deeper into the subconscious. What we
Mm,
need to do is to let the thoughts float away. We cannot stop or switch them off. Because what you switch off is just the conscious mind.
I see.
It doesn't mean that the thoughts are not there anymore.
Yeah.
So, most people, when they think they're meditating, they're just relaxing, which is already good.
Yeah. Not a bad thing. Yeah.
Because silence is golden. Silence
Yeah.
is a great thing. But the point is, if we have subconscious issues, at some point the subconscious will try to bring the stuff on the table.
Yeah. Anji.
So, the first step of actual yoga meditation is, apart from yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, then we have pratyahara, which means withdrawing the senses from the sense objects.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you switch off the perceptions. It means you withdraw your senses from that perception. Like,
Anji.
if you stop listening to the noise of traffic in the street,
Yeah.
you're not switching off the noise.
Yeah.
You're switching off your perception of the noise.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, so the point is, it is much more useful to let the noises go without paying them attention, not switching them off, not switching your perception off. Because when you try to switch your perception off, you are not going into the superconscious, you're going into tamas. That's why lots of people, when they try to meditate, they fall asleep.
Okay. Okay.
Because stopping the mind doesn't make it stop working in the background.
Yeah. Anji. Yeah.
You're just withdrawing your attention from what is happening in the background. Okay. But now the point is that your mind, our mind, everybody's mind,
Yeah.
needs to do something.
Yeah. Anji.
So if you try to stop it from working, it will go and work behind your back. Like, the very young children, like toddlers. You tell them, shut up, be quiet, and it's not that they're going to freeze and not, like robots switched off. So you cannot switch off, a person.
Yeah.
They will sneak in the back room and they will do something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is why I am often talking about the importance of communicating with the subconscious. Having a good cooperation with subconscious, and ultimately integrating it. The subconscious is responsible for a great percentage of our daily activities, both during the sleep and during the waking time.
Anji.
But especially during the sleep, what we call dreams. Meditation can be very much like daydreaming.
Yeah.
Because when you switch off your conscious mind, as we were mentioning, usually the subconscious takes over and starts bringing up stuff. So if we don't want to pay attention, we just let all these things just float by, go away by themselves.
So to connect to like higher, the higher consciousness, and so we have to get beyond the conscious mind and the subconscious mind.
Yeah, but we need to know how to recognize the superconscious.
Yeah, but getting beyond those two things, it looks like it's a challenge in itself.
It's a big challenge because you don't know where to go. You don't know what you need to meditate on. We were discussing the various parts of yoga, the angas of yoga. After pratyahara, which means withdrawing the senses from the sense objects, we have dharana. You need to meditate on something. Because the mind can never be quiet, and if you try to completely quiet the mind will sneak on the back and do something below your conscious level.
I see, yeah.
Now, the actual yoga system says, no, don't try to just stop the mind because it's not working. Give the mind something better to think about.
Something better.
This is why we have all the exercise, visualization, mantra, yantra, and all this stuff. Because we give something to the mind, which could be the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, because the subconscious is always listening.
Yeah, Anji, yeah.
Okay. Even when we are traveling with it, on the conscious mind. Subconscious is always listening. So when we apply the yoga, factor, we can call it, yoga factor, called dharana. Dharana is the beginning of meditation, which consists in fixing one's attention, one's consciousness on something specific.
Yeah.
Of course, choose wisely. If you want to go to the transcendental level, you need to focus your attention and your mind on something transcendental.
Yeah.
The easiest thing is a simple Maha Mantra. Like Om Namah Shivaya, for example.
Yeah.
Or Hare Krishna. It's not a problem. Any mantra that contains just the names of God, some of the names of God, will do. Because it's already naturally on the transcendental level, from the transcendental level.
But I suppose if you're reciting the names from, verbally, that doesn't, we're chanting God's name, which is good in itself, but how does that sort of correspond to focusing your mind? Because that's your mouth is doing the chanting, but
it helps, it helps your mind to focus as well. Because naturally, when you're repeating something, at some point you find that you're also thinking about that thing.
Yeah, Hanji, yeah. But what do you focus on? What I'm trying to.
Yeah.
So what are you focusing on on your mind when you're chanting? What should you Because obviously, as you said, the mind drifts here and there.
Yep.
So, what do we, while we're saying God's name, where are we
Yeah.
putting our
Ideally, we should concentrate on the name.
Yeah.
But we can get some help if we have the proper consciousness, if we have the proper knowledge.
Anji.
Because if we have no idea what God is, what Shiva is, you can chant Shiva, Shiva, but you have no idea what Shiva is, it's more difficult to focus.
Yeah.
That's why study of the shastra is important. It's actually one of the preliminary practices of yoga, swadhyaya.
Anji.
You know, the knowledge of the shastra has been transmitted through innumerable generations from people, by people who have directly realized that knowledge.
Mm.
You know, the rishis are not just human beings who invented something.
Yeah.
You know, the rishis, they're called rishis because they have seen the reality. They see the reality. So they describe it. They give us the knowledge of what they have seen. It's not about faith. You know, this is something that confuses a lot of people. They think that it's about faith.
Yeah.
And it's not about faith. The only amount of faith we need is the choice to take this thing seriously. Because if we don't take this thing seriously, we will not be able to experiment then properly according to the correct protocols.
Anji.
You know, this is scientific. Any scientific experiment has to follow specific protocols, otherwise it is not going to work.
Yeah.
You know, a scientific experiment starts from knowledge, because if you don't know what you're going to experiment, what are you going to experiment?
Yeah.
You know, it's just nothing. You know, whatever walks through your room. You know, you're not going to experience God.
Anji.
You know, so there are protocols that is include the a certain amount of knowledge from the scriptures, from the shastra, the original shastra. You know, not something written by someone else. The original shastra are very clearly classified in the Vedic tradition as Shruti.
Mm.
Shruti, Smriti, and Kavya, Bhasya, whatever. Shruti is the original text, the original knowledge. Smriti is elaboration on the original knowledge, which can be very useful, but it's not to be taken absolutely. Then we have the kavyas. We could compare them to parables, to stories, to examples or whatever, that are not absolute at all. They're just ideas to help people understand the concepts.
Yeah.
Now, the Shruti, we have a lot of Shruti in the Vedic tradition, but the best text that I am recommending to everyone is Bhagavad Gita.
Anji.
Because Bhagavad Gita is very simple, very clear, and very short. Compared to other texts, it's much easier to understand and to apply.
Anji.
Okay, so we've gone through that. We can go through that, every day for the rest of our lives, and it will always be very useful.
Anji.
Now, to access, to meditate on the superconscious, we need, as we said, first of all, to solve the problems of the subconscious.
हाँ जी,
Because if the subconscious has some big issues, it will interfere because it's going to put all its stuff in front of us. And that also includes projections,
हाँ जी,
beliefs, ideas, fantasies, everything that can come out of the subconscious is comparable to dreams.
yeah, हाँ जी,
So in dreams you can have, good perceptions, good ideas, and you can have very stupid ideas.
yeah,
It's a mixed bag, as they say.
हाँ जी,
It's useful, but we need to go beyond that. We need to, have a proper communication with the subconscious so we can understand what is coming from the subconscious, what is coming from the conscious mind, and what is beyond the mind.
yeah, yeah,
We can better understand what is beyond the mind if we already have some knowledge from the shastra, describing what is beyond the mind.
हाँ जी, yeah,
Otherwise, we remain unable to tell the difference.
yeah,
This is what lots of people find difficult
yeah,
because, a very large percentage of people today suffer from subconscious issues,
हाँ जी,
and
yeah,
mostly from a damaged self-esteem.
हाँ जी, yeah,
So the damage in self-esteem or self-confidence is trying to compensate
yeah,
the pain and the suffering and the uncertainty by projecting grandiose, beliefs and ideas and positions and everything. So we can see the inferiority complex turning into a superiority complex
yeah,
by compensation. That doesn't mean that if we get a superiority complex, now we are okay.
yeah, हाँ जी,
Because it's just a compensation. And usually it's an overcompensation.
yeah,
And it's not solid because deep down the subconscious knows it's not standing. So we keep needing to affirm our proposed projected superiority.
हाँ जी,
Someone who has overcome the inferiority complex, the self-esteem damage, doesn't need to prove anything to anyone.
yeah,
Doesn't need to control anyone. It's already great if he can control his own immediate environment,
हाँ जी,
without being thrown off balance. Because sometimes when you cannot control your own immediate environment, you lose your balance because it becomes a problem.
हाँ जी,
So we try to compensate by over-organizing, by overthinking, by all these responses are natural.
yeah,
Now the problem is when these compensation techniques are not sufficient
हाँ जी,
and our subconscious is not convinced, then we have to give bigger demonstrations to our subconscious by trying to control other people. And that's where we need to draw the line. because it's okay to control yourself.
Yeah.
Yourself, your clothing, your house, even, because it's your responsibility. It's an extension of yourself. It's extension of your physical body. So controlling all this is not that bad. It's okay. The problem is, if that is not sufficient, you also need to control others. Then we have a problem. Because it means that our subconscious is not convinced of your actual superiority. Doesn't believe it. So this is why it's called the neuro-linguistic programming, positive affirmations. When we make positive affirmations, we have to be very careful to be realistic.
Yeah.
Because if we're not realistic, our subconscious is not going to believe us. So, if we see some of this stuff popping up in our meditation, these are messages from the subconscious that is trying to fix the problems.
Yeah.
So, we can practice meditation by reassuring the subconscious temporarily, say, yes, we'll take care of that, but now think about, Shiva.
I see. Yeah, I see what it means. There's underlying things that they need to be dealt with, but
not immediately, and not all of it at once, in one time.
Yeah.
So the practice of meditation, if you do not have a proper object of meditation, of dharana and dhyana, it's not going to work. The best thing that you can get out of it is just you get relaxed, you get a little silence, maybe your headache will go away. If you have a headache, you feel, refreshed, you feel, you feel stronger and everything, but just because you relaxed, not because you meditated. That's not meditation. That's relaxation, which is good.
Yeah.
Relaxation is good. When we tell our conscious mind to take a nap, we let go all the thoughts, and we don't pay attention to the conscious mind. We send it to sleep. It's okay, conscious mind can go to sleep, it's not a big problem. But we need to give something to our consciousness, which is the subconscious mind. Because subconscious mind never goes to sleep.
Yeah.
It can work without our conscious attention. That's what it does usually.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's not doing anything. But it's not true. It's not true. This is why meditation doesn't mean just silence. There is one, quite recent type of meditation that is very popular. It's called vipassana, which is simply silence. Like you focus on your breathing and just shut up, don't talk. This practice in the yoga system, in the Vedic system, is not called dhyana, which means meditation. It's called mauna, which means silence. Because it's just silence. It's not meditation. We can call it meditation, but it's not correct. It's not appropriate. It's not the proper definition.
Yeah.
So it's just silence, which is a big thing for most people who are used to constant noise. You know, most people today cannot tolerate silence.
Yeah.
Because when you make an effort for silence, or even if silence happens by itself,
Yeah.
the subconscious pops up.
Mm-hmm.
That's why in the Vipassana technique, they focus on breathing. But they have to focus on something.
Yeah.
They have to meditate on breathing. Okay, meditate on breathing. You're not going very far if you meditate on breathing. But it's okay, it's good. But that's called mona, the practice of silence.
Anji.
But if you want to actually meditate, you have to meditate on something. And just breathing is not much. You can meditate on better stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if you want to meditate on the spiritual reality,
Anji.
breathing doesn't, get you there.
Yeah.
You need to have some knowledge of the spiritual reality.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, what you are going to meditate on?
I see. So you recommend that learn more from the shastras, and then when you do meditate, recite the God's names, it'll be more. You'll be able to connect more because of that knowledge.
Exactly. Just meditating on God's names is already better meditation than just focusing on one's breath.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the point is, if you feel it's not sufficient, just the name, because you need some more support for your meditation, then find out what the name means, what it is associated to, what is the identity, because the Vedic knowledge teaches that the name is non-different from the person. And the name is not different from the form, the qualities, the activities, the teachings, and everything. So when you meditate on the name of Shiva, everything is there in the name, but if you are not expecting to see it, how are you going to see it?
Yeah.
And because you don't expect to see it, your subconscious will pop up with other stuff.
Yeah.
Or you just fall asleep. Lots of people fall asleep while chanting the mantras.
Yeah.
Because the mind is not, able to focus on the complete reality.
Anji.
So they get bored and poof, they fall asleep.
Yeah.
Is this clearer?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it's a good
Excellent.
point where we can. Well, I think for myself to, I can read a bit more of the shastra, because obviously I do sit and try to meditate and
Yes.
God's
Okay.
name.
Important thing, attention bell, alarm bell. When we say we read about the shastra, we have to be careful where we read from.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of garbage going around.
Yeah.
So we need to go, from the best possible source. And if we have a guru that we trust, a person who has actually realized what he's talking about, we should listen from the guru.
Yeah. Anji.
Because anyone can talk about anything.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they're right.
Anji.
So if you have access to the direct shastra, the original shastra, or in a good translation, by all means. But the point is, if you don't have the basic knowledge, how you are going to see if it's a good translation or not?
Yeah, you won't know. Yeah.
So that's why in the Vedic system we have the point of the function, the role of the guru is to help you understand, because the guru is someone who has already realized that knowledge.
Yeah.
It's not just someone who writes books or writes blogs, or that's not sufficient, because anybody can do that. But how you know if that person has actually realized what he's talking about?
Anji.
Because maybe, and how much they have realized. Because they might have realized 10%, 50%, 70%. But you need to be always alert in asking questions. So if you cannot ask questions from the person who is doing the presentation, that's already a big problem. Because the chances for misinterpretation are growing.
Anji.
So that's why I am, still inviting you to talk about, the original actual knowledge about the shastra.
Yeah.
So we can understand better.
Anji.
And the first step is to realize that we are not the body. We are not the physical body. So if you read Bhagavad Gita, that's the first teaching of Krishna.
Yeah, Anji, yeah. That's then
we go further, and in the next chapter, in the Karma Yoga chapter, Krishna explains what is yagya, what is a sacred action.
Anji.
And starts to talk about yoga. What is yoga? What is meditation? At some point, Arjuna clearly, openly asked him, explicitly asked him, how can we meditate? How should we meditate?
Yeah.
That's a good place to get some good information.
Anji.
Okay, anything else specifically on this?
No, I think that's good, Matadi, because I think meditation, if we can do it properly, we can definitely, we
can get the realization, because meditation is not an end in itself.
Yeah.
It needs to lead us to realization.
Anji.
And that's the actual point. But okay, I think we already covered some of the basic points.
Yeah, definitely, Matadi. Yeah, it was definitely useful.
Good. So I think we can stop here for now.
Anji, yeah.
And hopefully we can meet again.
Definitely, Matadi. Yeah, I'd look
forward. Also help other people to get some, better knowledge.
Anji.
Jai, thank you so much. Jai, Jai Ma.